Welcome to every movie I've ever seen.
Is it doing anything?
Today, the movie we're going to be talking about is Dream Warrior.
Raising my hand and lowering it.
So we're talking about Dream Warrior today for some reason. This was a pick by Dimitri. See, I gave Richard and Dimitri full control over what movie we were going to watch. And Richard gave up and let Dimitri decide. And Dimitri picked Dream Warrior.
That's what you get.
The whole vast, plethora of movies that you could have forced me to watch. You came up with Dream Warrior. Okay.
Yeah.
Worth it, right?
Weird flex, but okay.
Everyone's favorite 2003 movie that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
It doesn't either. I tried to look for one. It's like
I was looking at the cast, and what's his name? The villain, Lance. something.
Lance Henriksen, okay?
Yeah. I was looking at his
Millennium's
filmography.
Frank Black.
His filmography, and this movie doesn't even come up on the list. It says like 2002 he was in this movie, 2004 he was in this movie, but there's no space for Dream Warrior.
In 2003 he disappeared.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of movies.
Lance Henriksen is freaking awesome.
He is.
This is now the second time I've seen him, I think.
He's
That's
so
disappointing.
good. Like even in this movie, he's just like he steals the show.
He clearly stole this movie.
Whose choice was it for him to wear a coat that was way too big for him?
I don't know. You could see his shoulder sticking out of the shoulder. Like the shoulder was like here on him.
The budget's choice.
I mean, the costuming in general, it was like they all decided to go to Kmart and just raided the shelves and said, this is it. This is what people in the apocalypse are going to look like. Like they shot Kmart.
The thing is, I could see that if like they were all like in the same type of clothing, but like the guy has like the cleanest jeans ever for the apocalypse.
The like buddy, not the main guy, but the scarf guy is like straight out of a LL Bean catalog. He's wearing pristine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Scarf Guy. Who's Scarf Guy?
Scarf guy's the one who can touch the ground and like track.
Oh, he's one of the two guys with the mustache, correct?
Yeah, he looks like a Nathan Drake knockoff. Like he's wearing like pristine tan leather jacket with a ascot scarf and like perfectly clean Gap jeans.
That's not his buddy. That's Audrey Horne's buddy.
Well, yeah, that's whatever. You know,
who I'm pretty sure he's like playing this Audrey Horne game for like a long time, and then dude comes in out of nowhere and just total clean sweep.
I feel like he's been working on that for years of his life.
But this guy doesn't even do anything. He just like rubs her face and then leaves for no reason.
Yeah, well, they had a special connection. She healed
He
him.
like rubs her face, and then she like walks away, and he like holds his hand, and like slowly puts it down.
And then he's like, and then the random black guy is like, he must leave. Like, why? It is the way or something. It's like, but why?
Can someone enlighten me? Maybe I missed it or like fell asleep in part of it. But that river that they were like looking for, why?
The river.
River.
They gotta go to the
I
river.
think that there was no water. Like,
Is that what it was?
I think
don't
that's what it is.
think so.
There's no clean source of water.
Not the rain?
When did they say this?
It's not clean enough. He's like, he does a little vial, and he's like, it's clean.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that, like, does that mean it's the only clean river? Is that why
No, because when they get to the river, Lance Henderson is like, come on, there's nothing special about this place. It's just a random river. And then,
It's the dream.
And then at another point, they were like,
the dream?
and no, because the ground toucher guy, he was like, it's a river. We don't know if it's the river.
Right, so what is the river?
Well, I think that's the thing. The river is nothing.
What's the dream? What is the dream they keep talking about?
It's a place where they can be
The
freaks.
child
place where the
will be
mutants-
born, and the
where the
boy
mutants
will
can be
rise
free,
up. And
Where all people can be free.
but why is Lance Henderson want to kill the freaks?
It's not specified.
When
'Cause he is one of them.
Audrey Horne would be a very useful freak to have around in
Yeah, she's
post-apocalyptic.
way OP.
Like, why would they want to kill her? She can
she's
heal
a mega
people.
level freak.
She's got the power to heal people and essentially bring people back from death, and they're like, "Oh, we need to kill her because her bloodline's impure." Like what?
Okay,
I like the part. I like the part with the judge.
Yeah,
Like,
standout scene.
yeah, well, like he's just talking. Is his voice just really loud? Is that why he's the judge?
At a certain point, I think they had to like redub it or something because like he was speaking and it didn't even look like he was speaking.
Yeah.
Like visually, he was basically talking like this. His mouth wasn't. I mean, he was just talking, but there was this crazy echo that like
Yeah, it's
you could hear him. He's a
why did Rage not follow them when they first rescued him? Because like they saved him from the car crash, and then they went to their base, and Audrey Horne gets captured, and then it cuts back to Rage still in the car crash. I'm like, wait a second, I thought he was going with them. Why is he still just chilling in the car all day until and then he has like a vision that she was kidnapped, and he's like, I have to go help
Speaking
her.
of his car, I love the fact that it already had pre-made grabbing bars on the top of it in case anyone ever wanted to jump on top of it.
No, I love like his cars. Like there's like a scene where he's like ramming the shifter and like driving back and forth. But this is before the fact that you see the car is like a broken down sedan with like no doors.
You know what else is funny about that scene? What I noticed is
the car.
so there's the guy on top of the car holding on to it, and he's driving like a maniac trying to get the guy to slide off or whatever, and he won't do it, and he's being chased by a bunch of other people. So then, in the scene, he slams on the brakes, the guy on the top of the car goes flying over the front, and then he quickly switches into reverse and reverses past the guys who are chasing him. But, like, in the scene, the guy flies off the car, lands in the middle of the road, and slowly gets up to, like very slowly gets up to figure out where he is and stands in the middle of the road. All the main guy is trying to shift into reverse when you easily could have just kept going and ran over the guy and it would have been solved.
That and the like there's like 4 motorcycles like roaring behind him. And he just like slams and they just like
Yeah. And another scene that really I thought was great was after the judge scene when there's the chaos ensues and they're all trying to escape. That main like hunter guy with the crossbow or whatever it is.
whose name is Archer.
Yeah, that guy. He's about to shoot Audrey Horne, and then Scarf Guy pulls up in his and stares at him and blocks his shot. But why doesn't the guy just shoot?
I was gonna say that. He just pulls up and like, just pulls up to him and starts laughing at his face.
Standing in front of him, like you're not gonna shoot, like ha ha. It's like why doesn't he just shoot you? And then
Well, no, that's another thing too. Is when he's driving the car with the motorcycles, he gets like right next to him, and instead of just shooting him in the face, he like aims at his tire.
yeah, exactly. It's
Their goal is to kill him, but he's like, I'll just aim at the tire now.
he has so many chances.
Did the young blonde girl not die at the end? 'Cause I thought she had died at the end, but then she came back.
I don't think anyone died beyond like
Beyond the ones that Uncle Owen and Uncle Lars and Owen.
What?
what?
What's Luke's uncle and aunt's name?
Uncle Owen.
Yeah, Uncle Owen and
On
what's his name?
something.
Yeah,
Bro.
guys that got burnt to a crisp, Uncle Owen style.
Oh, yeah, he's
Okay.
burnt to a crisp. That's right.
That's
Playing pinball.
it's a weird way of saying it, but okay, yeah.
What? It's true. That's
Two guys did get burned. Young blonde kid and other mustached guy.
I like also how vague their religion was. Like clearly Lance Henriksen was like, or whatever his name is, was like a high priest of whatever they believed, but none of it made any. They didn't.
no, because obviously the content of like the story there was just like religion, like just just belief system.
What was this movie? Was this like, it wasn't a TV movie. Was it like straight to video or something?
It looked
No.
like a TV movie. It had
That's
the
another-
production value of like a CBS episode.
That's another. Yeah, exactly. It did. But that's another comment. It's the only movie I've seen with the credits a special appearance by.
Right. That would imply that there are other episodes or something.
Yeah, it was weird.
This had nudity, so it wasn't a TV movie. It had to have been straight to video because there's no way somebody thought to release this in theaters.
It could have been like not made for TV, but built around going into TV because they could have just cut out that scene.
How did you find it? How did you know of its existence?
Like I said, man, before Netflix was cool, this is the shit you had to deal with.
Right, but that was never on Netflix. Like I
It
don't.
was.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I remember when Netflix had.
Because if you, I don't know if you saw the cover with like the night guy.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah,
I went to I think Rotten Tomatoes or I think it was Rotten Tomatoes, but one of the review sites, all of the reviews mention that how like the poster is this medieval maze, and everyone's like, what? Like,
it comes up like nowhere in the movie.
never is there a night with a maze. Never.
No, but on Netflix that was the cover, and I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm watching this.
There was no Dream Warrior in this either, though, was there?
Yeah. Well, I think Rage is the Dream Warrior.
But he's not, though. He doesn't dream.
He's-
He has, like, visions of the future.
Well, he's
Oh no,
a
he's
warrior.
fighting for the dream.
Yeah, he's fighting for the dream.
Oh, that's lame. That's lame.
You didn't catch that?
But the thing is, you
30,000 times they said that.
That's lame.
you can hate on this movie all you want. I like it.
I love anytime someone tries to go for a post-apocalyptic Mad Max scenario because I love to see how people
Yeah,
to world build, and it never almost never succeeds. But I do love to try to find out where they're trying to go with it.
it has heart.
It does it though. I don't think it has any.
I think it has heart. Yeah, like the guy, the director writer, he was trying to do something.
Maybe. I wouldn't even say it was good enough to, I wouldn't even say, oh, this felt like a student film, because it wasn't smart enough for that. It was
Well,
like an episode from a TV show on CBS in 2003. But,
Oh.
a TV show that most people watch. But,
I think the creator was trying really hard. He just wasn't very good.
maybe. Maybe that's it. I also, yeah. I
I
mean,
feel like he was doing everything possible. I mean,
Yeah, but like you can see that there are ideas, but I
but
feel
the
like it was-
ideas, but they're hardly ideas. They're like the inception of an idea.
I feel like they were his ideas, but nobody helped him.
Sure.
So,
And
like,
he didn't
I know the
really
feeling.
lay them out clearly.
Yeah.
He didn't ever type them up in a Word document. So it was like,
he just hired these people, and they're like, "All right, man, whatever. We'll do what you
it
want."
did get really Mad Max there for a second when they went
It
to,
was
there was
very
like
Mad Max.
a 5-minute segment that looked like actual apocalypse. All the other stuff is just kind of abandoned.
Well, yeah, and there's a guy with a crossbow. Like,
Isn't
Well, they're all
really-
wearing black studded leather jackets too, with football pads for.
yeah,
But then at one point, it looked like they were just like World War II Army guys wearing bucket helmets.
Yeah, there were three classes of
of henchmen.
or whatever. There was the hunters, who were your Mad Max style motorcycle riding, black leather wearing crossbow shooters. Then you had his personal guard / police, who were wearing black what's the word I'm looking for? Black United
Turtle shell.
turtle shell helmets.
Yeah,
And then you had the Nazis, who were I guess other just guards, who were straight up wearing trench coats and
well, no, in one of the flashbacks in the beginning, it's straight up Tank and a Nazi.
yeah, they straight up just had Nazis in whatever time period, 2004.
Is that the most effective way to execute people? By pulling them apart?
He's to be flatlined.
Yeah, no, I saw what they were trying to. They're trying to go for something ominous there.
I like that's another thing that's always happens in these like Mad Max style apocalypse movies is there's always new vocabulary or switching out of vocabulary. Like instead of saying we'll murder him or we'll kill him, they'll say he needs to be flatlined.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, he was great.
He was
Too big, but I mean,
yeah.
God.
That plot twist of him having powers.
Oh, no one saw that one coming.
Yeah, right.
For sure. The charismatic cult leader that was in charge of society, bent on wiping out mutants.
And he was Rage's father. Didn't see that coming either.
No, God, no. Couldn't imagine seeing that.
What were you saying that people were like calling him something else?
Yeah, like at certain points in the movie, they call him other names. Like, I mean, they all say Rage, but they all pronounce it differently.
Yeah. Okay.
Badge.
One person the scarf guy, he at one point calls him Ridge, and Aubrey Horn
Ridge.
at one point both say Reg, like Reggie. So I thought for the first half of the movie that his name was Reggie.
There's one point where that like kid, like they're in the junkyard or whatever, and it's where
like blonde girl kid.
Yeah, and like Rage comes up with Starlight or whatever her name is, and like in order to communicate this, she just like screams, and it's not even like a I'm scared scream. It's just like a ah!
Wait, what does he need to communicate?
Like they're talking in the junkyard, and then Rage comes up behind them, like without them knowing. Like he's carrying the woman on his back,
Oh.
and her like alerting of that is just
Look,
like
Rage is here.
You remember
it's like a screech.
You remember The Office where Kevin had his way of alerting them? He would just say alarm, alarm, alarm. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
People are lame.
Hey, whatever. She was probably the worst actor in any movie
Yeah.
I think I may have ever seen.
I'm pretty sure there's a part where I can see all the other actors holding back laughter.
Yeah. I mean, she was really bad. Like, she was like, Tommy was so bad.
That's a little.
Like,
That's a
I
little
want to be an
harsh.
actor. Please, please, please.
Please
All
let me
right,
be an
fine.
actor.
We'll
And-
just-
I think she was like 16. This is her first acting gig.
I think you're being a little harsh, but okay.
No, I don't think I'm being harsh at all.
Shit.
Definitely not the worst actor.
She's up there.
Way better than
Well,
Tommy
I mean,
Wiseau.
what's
No, not much.
worse? What's worse, her being a bad actor, being like 16 or whatever,
think she was
and some of these
14.
people being bad actors when they're like 40.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Sure.
they've been acting for a while.
Or Tommy Wiseau, who's not good at anything, writing, directing, producing, and starring in a movie.
Right, but you have to admire him for that. For even
No, you don't have to.
just an actor who is just very bad. Like worse than high school. The actors that put on our high school play were better.
I told you, I'm
don't
your
agree
age,
with that.
Mark. I'm as old as you, Mark.
I'm as old as you. Yeah.
I don't agree
Are
with
those your
that.
friends, Mark? Those young kids your friends?
I think you're being a little harsh there. But
I really don't think honestly the best actor in that movie was the woman who gave birth.
Not the best actor in the movie.
Yeah,
but
well, she was convincing. She was-
because they filmed her giving birth.
Yeah.
We can use this.
Yeah.
There was some like he was channeling some serious Keanu Reeves in the beginning with some of the
Who?
voiceover.
Oh yeah.
Forgot they had voiceover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't like. If you have a movie, sometimes they have voiceover and then they just drop it halfway through.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah,
And
I
the
like-
voiceover switched actually because it started with Like there were two voiceovers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There was Rage doing a voiceover, and then there was Isaac Hayes doing a voiceover.
Yeah. That might be a first. Like double voiceover.
Who's Isaac Hayes?
Isaac Hayes is the black guy.
You know him?
Yeah, he's famous. He's a famous blues or like jazz musician. He's also the voice of Chef in South Park.
Yeah, he has like
Okay.
a lot of.
He was the biggest name in that movie.
A special guest appearance by.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
He's the biggest. I've never heard of him. You think that'd be Lance Henriksen?
I mean, that surprises me that you've never. For one, he was in South Park. I'm sure you.
I haven't seen that trash.
Are you kidding me? You don't.
Yeah, but he's just like a pop icon, not a pop icon, but like a popular culture icon at this point.
Famous Scientologist.
Is he?
Yes, that's why he quit South Park.
Oh right, yeah.
Jeff's only in the first like 6 seasons of it because they did the Scientology episode, and he was very offended by that. And Scientology told him to quit, so he quit.
Of course, why not? Scientology.
He went on to make such great films like Dream Warrior.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is a Scientology thing.
What?
Maybe it's a Scientology thing.
Maybe everyone in that movie is a Scientology.
Yeah,
What if it's a Scientology movie?
I wouldn't doubt that.
Don't they
actually.
need to like approve everything they do or something? Like you can't make a movie. Like don't they?
Yeah.
Don't they control
I'm
what
not-
movies?
I mean, I'm not saying the plot is like a Scientologist idea or whatever, but I'm saying like this is produced by Scientologists.
Maybe.
No.
I don't know.
That's why,
anyone-
that's
I
why you
don't know.
can't find it too.
I'm gonna I'm gonna look up Audrey Horne real quick and
I feel like the Zoom meeting's about to get shut down.
yeah. I don't know her name. Who is she actually?
Sherilyn
Sherilyn Fenn. Okay,
Fenn? Something like that.
Sherilyn Fenn.
She still looked okay in this movie.
She did.
I
Pretty
mean,
good.
yeah.
I mean, obviously Twin Peaks is, she looked great in Twin Peaks.
She was much better. I mean, she had
Twin Peaks.
a lot more to work with.
What?
Who is that in Twin Peaks? Fuck. I
Audrey
see her
Horne.
face. Yeah, I know, but who is that? Like, who?
It's
Audrey
Ben
Horne
Horn.
is the sort of crazy, dangerous chick that Dale Cooper's
Oh, okay, yeah. She's the
daughter of Ben Horne, who owns the
yeah.
hotel.
Well, her acting's gotten worse.
Yeah. Well, like I said, she had a lot more to work with.
Yeah, that's
I don't think she was that bad in this. You guys are a little harsh on the acting in this.
I think you're not harsh enough.
No,
Yeah.
I think I've just seen worse.
Well, yeah, of course I've seen, but that's
Well, I mean, like I've seen worse than you guys have seen. So, like my standards are
who
lower,
says?
I guess.
Just because you think you've seen some bad movies doesn't mean that we haven't seen.
I've
some.
seen some bad.
You may have seen a lot of bad movies. Doesn't mean you see worse than this.
I've seen.
This is pretty bad. I'm not going to call it the worst, but it's pretty bad. Yeah, she did
It's
a lot to work
fine.
with though in this movie. I mean, what was her character other than touching people's faces?
This could have fit in with one of my. This movie honestly could have fit in with one of my rummage sale movies. I mean, it was fine.
I would love to have this movie on DVD. Like,
This was a rummage sale movie. I feel like that's what it was invented for.
I mean, the movie was fine. It wasn't bad.
No, it was bad.
No.
I have high
it
standards.
it wasn't fine. Like
It wasn't fine.
a normal person wouldn't watch this movie and be like, okay. Like they're gonna be like, this is bad. This sucks.
A normal person wouldn't watch the movie. I mean, people can't find this movie. It's like,
I used to see it all the time on Netflix. I'm just saying.
it's crazy. I mean, just like simple things like the audio quality are enough for me to like walk away from it. I mean, it was like,
For me, it's the camera work.
yeah, I mean, it was,
There are scenes where it's like totally shaking when it shouldn't be.
yeah. It was, yeah.
You guys are just harsher on things. I don't know.
But all that said, I still like it.
I like anytime somebody like I said before, I like anytime somebody tries to go for some new world building Although it was all just knockoffs. I mean, it was basically
Yeah,
X-Men meets Mad Max.
yeah. I don't know. I like the vibe. It's got a vibe that's like
It has a
I don't know.
weirdly sexual, gritty,
Maybe that's why I like it.
unpolished vibe.
It provokes me. I don't know. I like it. No, because it's got this vibe of like, all right, everybody came here in like 3 vans, so we're gonna like, let's get the equipment out. Let's make this movie. We got a couple shots to do. Like, we gotta get it done.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, probably rented out this construction site for a couple hours.
Dave, I take your
You know-
clothes off and start making out. We're gonna do the rave scene.
We're gonna do the orgy scene now, everybody. Let's come on. You know, I think this movie has the same feeling as a gravel road leading into a quarry that has one single wide trailer in it, and that trailer has like fake wooden panel siding on it. And just like seeing that trailer there, that's kind of what this movie feels like.
Kind of is. There's just something about it. Just kind of like, I don't know.
When do you think they're gonna make that sequel?
Dream Warrior 2.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, I think when you look up this movie, it always goes to Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
Dream Warriors. So I think
This is
just
a- Almost impossible movie to find unless you know what you're looking for.
yeah.
I don't think it's that
apparently-
impossible to find.
That's not impossible. It does come up. But no
Well,
one-
some say it came out in 2004, and then some references say it came out in 2003.
Huh.
So, just you really have to be looking for it.
Yeah, that's odd. I wonder also where their sets came from. Like, where were they filming this? Because
I'm telling you.
like headquarters for what was the main guy's name? Parrish. Whoever Parrish's headquarters were, awesome.
I know.
Kind of lame.
I mean, nothing special. I mean, there's probably like 100 locations exactly like that in the world. That's why people film
Well,
there.
his big like brutalist like weird junkyard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was some abandoned construction.
It looks like an abandoned rocket launch site almost.
Yeah. Well, it's like some British Columbian military abandoned base or something.
Yeah, some like base that was built in the 70s and then never touched again after the 80s. Like it.
I'm pretty sure the guy that did this was like a temp worker for some company. He's just building this thing. I was like, you know what? I got an idea. Make this movie.
It's like they were constructing an amusement park and then stopped halfway through, and they were like, "Let's just film now before this thing gets finished."
Did the meteor cause the mutant powers?
It's unclear.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. In the beginning too, he's like, and the meteor came and it changed everything. Some people were born with powers.
But like, doesn't Rage talk about life before the meteor or something? He starts reminiscing.
Does he? I don't remember
I feel like he does.
how much time has progressed since that time.
Been a lot. Like,
I mean, they're
at
all
least, like,
they're all still wearing Gap jeans and like Adidas sneakers.
Cars are running fine.
Cars run.
yeah,
Yeah.
cars run, but like they're these trucks from the 50s.
Yeah, but they still have gasoline and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of thought was put into the time,
I don't know.
but I got the sense watching it that the meteor had only struck like maybe 25 years.
I was thinking like 50.
Did they just
That's-
abandon the storyline with her mother?
Yeah, completely.
Like, what happened to her mother?
Yeah.
She was dying, then she healed her, and then we never see her again.
Never mentioned at all.
Not even brought up.
And then there's the whole like the Queen and like the Goth tribe.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, when they got kidnapped by the Gigolos.
Yeah. Which I
Juggalos.
swear, he fights one of the hunters
Yeah, he
in the
does.
scene.
I swear that I saw that too. I was like, that guy's definitely a hunter. He's not
Yeah.
Hans, right? Like there's no way that he's one of these skull people. He's definitely one of the hunters.
Well, it almost seems like they captured him too, because like the scene before that, he's
Oh.
chasing Rage,
Yeah.
and then like Rage gets like I don't even remember what happened, how he got captured, but then like he's fighting that guy. I'm like, what?
Rage escapes through the baby through the sewer, and he comes out of the sewer grate, and the skull tribe
Right.
is just there, and they capture him. I don't know how they captured the other guy, but you're right. They probably did capture both of them and just make them fight for their own amusement, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. And then Paris just finds them.
And this guy who's supposedly famous, why was he
Oh, no.
kidnapped?
He wasn't. He walked. He like.
But he was like in a cage. They like let him out of his cage or something.
Yeah, he was. He
Live
was
in a cage.
That's right.
Like he was
Wait,
about
who?
to.
Isaac Hayes.
Yeah.
Wait, was he in a cage?
Yeah, he was in a cage, and they let him out to fight Rage, and he touched Rage's face, and he's like, "I'm not here to fight you.
Well, I think he was just another captured guy.
Yeah, but when did
But
he get like?
How did he? When you first see him, he's like wandering the desert.
So they knocked him on the head. They captured him.
Who is he? Like,
They do this kind of
clearly
thing.
some sort of weirdly magic. Ignoring the fact that he's just another magical black man, but he's clearly like some sort of spiritual thing going on.
Well, he's just a mutant, I think. Who? See, that's another thing. Like
He's a dreamer.
a dreamer. Okay.
He's the dream warrior.
Like that's another thing for the timeline. Like I think this guy was born a mutant,
Probably.
and so that like
Could be.
we're looking at like 50
Anything's
years
possible.
here.
I don't think there's really. Yeah.
They're trying to say something with this movie. Okay, you gotta look
They're
into it.
trying to, but Lord knows what. That's the thing. It's not even. That's what I mean by like comparing it to like a student film. At least in those, you can pretty much always. What makes them not as good as a real movie is that they're really ham-fisted with like what
Yeah.
they're saying. Right. This thing was the opposite, where like clearly it's trying to say something.
There
That's
were
why
some- There were
that's why
some
you gotta-
real ham-fisted themes in Equation of Doom.
Yeah. Well,
This is you could have slapped Hazard Time on this.
that's a soundtrack of a Hazard. It clearly
Yeah.
music from
Like,
the same
If
database.
if we tried, we could have done. We probably could have done this.
With a higher quality camera and more extras,
And money.
could have come up with something quite similar.
And I don't know if that's speaking poorly about us or good. I don't know.
But
No, I feel like in our home in Horseheads, I could scout enough locations to
Oh yeah.
this storyline. If all we needed were extras, and we'd already have the soundtrack that it has. We'd have the locations that we would just need the actors.
See,
I
that's-
guess-
I think
but we would also need the money and then like the desire
Lance
to do
Henriksen.
it. Because I don't think either you two would actually do it.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about it too. Is it's like an every man's movie. Just about every man could make this movie if they try.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It has
I would say
just enough.
Primer is a little bit. Primer was like a $7,000 budget.
Yeah, but that has like a good plot. Like that has this.
Not
the
everyone could
story.
make that because clearly the person who did is intelligent and knew what they were. Like this felt like you could take
Yeah.
it and give them a budget and they'd produce something on par with this.
Yeah, like because you just have to come up with like general cool things.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
at one point, he goes and gets on his motorcycle in this like silo building or whatever, and he wants like the cinematography wants to be so great because they have this like fan shadow coming down, and
I think I
then
remember.
as he drives away, there's one person working on like a random thing with a blowtorch or something. Like it has the substance, but it's just so thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he like saw this stuff in a movie. He's like, I want that. He doesn't know how to really do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's yeah. I've seen more artistic shots in lower budget things.
Yeah, but
It's-
the person wanted that. He just like,
You just didn't know how to get there.
yeah. That's why you gotta.
It's like the whole thing. Like the villain's name is Parrish. He's like the head of their church. He like basically has the right to sleep with anyone's daughters, sort of. He gives sermons to these people. You'd think that okay, so clearly he's trying to make some sort of statement about organized religion, if not
Yeah,
in particular. But
the justice system.
don't really
you
say
know.
anything because it's like yeah. Having your villain be the leader of some futuristic apocalypse cult doesn't really say anything.
that hasn't been said before.
Yeah. And he's not really like that was only like half of his duties, it seemed. Like he didn't really I don't know. Most of his time was spent trying to conceive a child. So
The other thing, like he just references God too. So it's like I don't even know what the religion is.
yeah.
Like it's not a
Like vaguely orgasmic or orgy-ish, but also not because his wife was offended by that. And
I feel like we've talked about this movie more than anyone ever has.
including the people involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for most of those actors, this was a paycheck. Like, I think...
Yeah. That or the guy whoever was making it convinced them that it'll get them more roles. It's gonna be big, I promise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a
The thing, too, that I love is I love seeing really poorly done, like bad, C-list movies where they always get a main guy who is clearly attractive enough to be an actor, but he's
Just
not
not-
talented enough to like really be an actor.
Yeah.
These people are like Old Navy models, and they think that that's good enough to be on screen to be a character.
CW makes a living out of that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, then you're just the CW model.
I feel like Rage was a CW model.
Probably.
Yeah, he's too old.
Good names, though.
What other ones?
Yes.
Parrish and Rage.
Parrish, Rage, Doken.
Who's Token?
Doken's the judge.
Oh, okay.
Because, like,
That's just the best part. How did I forget his name?
and then what, Starlight?
Audrey Horne's name was Sterling.
Sterling.
Sterling, yeah, okay.
It's harder to make good post-apocalyptic girl names.
Really? Because
Sterling.
you could name them anything. Her name could have been like Wrench. I mean,
But that's not a,
Sterling.
Not
because-
exactly a good one, though.
Yeah,
not a-
but you get my
that's not a
point.
girl's name, though. It's
Why
still
not?
got. It's still got to like be a girl's name some way.
What makes a girl's name?
I don't know.
Not Wrench, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not
That's
Reggie.
That's way too close to Wench, Richard.
Well, whatever. My point is, they could have made it. Sterling. What a lame name compared to Rage.
But Rage wouldn't work for a female character.
Why not?
Rage.
I don't know. It's just
Furiosa. There was literally a Mad Max movie where the name is Fury. What do you mean Rage wouldn't work?
Yeah, but that's Rage. If it was like Ragiosha or something, maybe
Yeah,
they didn't call her
feminine
Fury.
aspect.
They didn't call her Fury. She
It was Furiosa.
Yeah, but they called her Furiosa because, I mean, clearly her name is Fury. I mean,
But it's not.
What's the Clean Jeans guy's name?
I'm trying to remember.
What clean?
It was the cleanest person in the cat. Like,
I want to say it was like Bobby or something. Was it Bobby?
it might have been.
Which guy are you talking about?
Buddy.
The scarf guy, the tracker guy.
He's got like
The ground toucher.
he had like pristine jeans on like the whole movie.
like pressed even.
Yeah.
And his jacket too.
No, you know another thing that bothers me about this movie, which I guess I can't ever get over, so I can't like it as much as I want to. The main character is wearing a jacket sweatshirt combo.
Yeah, gray sweatshirt, gray hoodie, black leather jacket on top of it.
But the thing is, it's one of those jackets that are like connected, like
Yeah,
it's actually just one
it's not
jacket.
actually two jackets.
Those
It's
jackets are
just-
the best. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, if you wore one.
exactly.
And also like yours, Liam, it was plastic leather. I'm sure it wasn't real leather.
So it still looks cool.
Like I said, everyone there, it's like they went to Kohl's and they gave somebody, they gave like a 19-year-old some money and they said, go to Kohl's and get anything you can that looks vague, post-apocalyptic. But you can't actually buy post-apocalyptic costumes at normal department stores. So what you end up coming out with is jeans and leather jackets and scarves to make it look like.
But to
That is
further
not-
prove that point, he literally was like, well, let's have a kooky character. So let's put Hawaiian shorts and pants on this thing. Because
Yeah, and the girl was wearing like a beanie, like a rainbow-colored beanie,
with a sweatshirt. Like,
jean skirt, and like UGG boots. I swear. I mean, like, it's like what is this?
Well, costumes were fine, I guess.
Sterling's costume. She was wearing fitted jeans. I'm pretty sure high heels. She was wearing one of those like department store sweaters that go over her hips and like ties in a knot on one side. That's like in catalogs, and then this weird fur coat.
what you
Well,
get?
This apocalypse isn't too
Fake
difficult.
fur, not even real fur. Like it's not
These are a
even.
little easier in this apocalypse. It's
Yeah.
not too hard.
It didn't look too difficult. They weren't struggling in any aspect. There was like
I mean, all the extras. Every time there was like something like a commotion, he'd call all the extras, and they'd just be like a bunch of random people with normal clothes.
Oh, speaking of which, did you notice when they're in the goth camp or whatever, and the two guys are fighting. Rage is fighting the other person. The crowd's like cheering and yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the crowd, they're not making any noise at all. They're just watching.
oh yeah, it's the quietest crowd ever.
The crowd is making noise, but like the people in the crowd aren't making. So it's just staring.
It's dubbed over.
Yeah.
Well, because they're doing one of these, like.
They weren't yelling though. It was ADR yelling crowd noise.
And that's like when he's on top of the car, like getting shooken around. Like the only thing you hear in that scene is like. Like half this movie is dubbed. Like
The judge scene for sure was, because there are scenes where he's talking, like the scenes where he'd be like, "Bring forth evidence," and then the guy next to him would be like, "We like she doesn't need to bring forth evidence. I saw her," and then the judge would like talk to him like, "Oh well, whatever." Like that was clearly his actual voice, and then he turned back to the crowd and like he
well, it sounds like he has a microphone on.
yeah.
Maybe he was amplifying his voice so the people in the crowd could hear him.
Well, that's what I thought too. I thought his mutant power was like just loud.
But it wasn't even loud. Like, it didn't even sound that loud. It just sounded like
Echoed.
you hear him far away. But it wasn't loudness. It's like, it didn't sound like he was screaming. It sounded like he was talking, but you could hear his talking.
So they just turned the volume up on his talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And there were no microphones. I mean, and that's the other thing, too. Like, they have electricity, I think.
Do they?
Because, like, Lance's room, his bedroom, I swear has, like, neon lights and stuff.
I think that was just the vibe.
The room just exists in
Yeah.
a cloud of ambient neon.
And another thing too, this movie is just like it's one scene away from being like a movie that you can't watch with your family. It's like
It's so close. It like
yeah.
really straddles that softcore porn line.
And they just have to go over it just like a little bit at one point.
It's like movies from the '60s. Like you remember Death Race, Death Race 2000. It felt like that. It's like there's a weird amount of nudity in here that doesn't need to be here,
Yeah.
but they're clearly putting it in because they think that that's going to sell it somehow.
And that's this movie is like
Well, you know, they
what was it
couldn't-
made for?
They couldn't pay Lance Henriksen all that he wanted, so like, okay, we'll make it up for you. We'll let you touch some tits. That'll make up for the extra 1,000 that we couldn't actually end up paying.
That wasn't his character, it was just him.
I love how soft spoken he was. Like he never yelled or any. He was always.
I know.
He was so deadpan, soft. It was.
He's really good in it though.
He's
Because like all the effort for writing went into his role.
He's a
Yeah.
very talented actor, Lance Henriksen. Have you guys?
And
He
his
was
voice is so
more-
like concise.
He was more believable as a human being in Aliens when he doesn't play a human being.
Yeah.
He was in this movie.
Have you guys seen Millennium? Probably not. But
I don't think so.
losers. Millennium is like the X-Files
What do
spin-off.
you mean losers? You didn't even see Dream Warrior before this.
Yeah, come on.
But we
long
spent the last
distance.
40 minutes talking about how much Dream Warrior sucks. So apparently,
Maybe you did. These are just reasons why it's great.
I was trying to defend Dream. I've been here trying to defend Dream Warrior. And you guys are talking about how it's the worst movie you've ever seen, and that
You were
poor
defending the
It's
acting.
the worst movie we've ever seen.
that poor 14-year-old blonde girl you're attacking is the worst actress ever. Apparently,
She wasn't great.
it was fine. It's like her only acting role too. Trolls like you made her quit acting.
Yeah, in 2003, all those internet trolls were just going after.
Yeah, all of the 4 people who saw that movie.
Well, somebody had to have seen it at some point because I mean, this movie, like I said, it wasn't a TV movie.
Maybe it was like,
And hey, the internet was a lot scarier of a place in 2003.
was it? I think it's
Yes.
gotten scary.
A lot more deregulated then, anyway.
Yes. I mean, you know, like it was a lot easier to get and see the stuff that you weren't supposed to get and see on the internet back then.
Speak for yourself, man. It's
Well, Dimitri's over here on the dark web every day.
I think even on the dark web, it's still hard to get. I mean, we're not
You're
talking
just
about
not
like
good enough.
we're not talking about downloading illegal. We're not talking about like watching movies. Okay.
We're talking about how to watch Dream Warrior.
Dream Warrior is probably easier to find now than it ever was before, except for the time when it was on Netflix, I guess.
Well, no, I think when Netflix was like really young, and even kind of now a little bit, I think you could make movies directly to Netflix. Like I've seen movies that have only ever appeared on Netflix.
You mean
So, like-
Netflix original?
Well, they could be like movies made for streaming platforms.
Direct?
And
Isn't
so
that
I
like?
think in 2003,
It's like the modern equivalent of direct-to-video.
yeah,
Like,
in
it's
2003, they heard about Netflix and they're like, well, let's make a movie. It sounds easy to get produced on there.
Yeah, because it had a lot. I do remember the early days of Netflix, and especially,
Yeah.
originally it was only mailing, and then they introduced
Mhm.
a streaming platform, and there were a lot of.
I
Yeah.
feel like you're not describing anything like new. I mean, like straight to like isn't it like VOD? Isn't that what it's called? That's kind of been a thing.
Video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The modern equivalent would be straight to Netflix, so like straight
No,
to
VOD, video on demand. That's
video on demand.
that's
Yeah,
streaming.
yeah, basically
kinda-
same thing.
It's blowing Dimitri's mind over here, but it's like I think it's always kind of been there.
What are you talking about? Video like
There have been services where you can.
I mean, like Redbox. Doesn't
There have always
Redbox
been,
have
there
original
have always been
shit?
movies that were made that never ended up in the theaters.
yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is this was specifically made for Netflix.
Yeah,
It might have been.
VOD.
Yeah,
it was probably made
no,
for like
it was
any
made
other.
in 2003. Netflix wasn't even around back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
2003?
Yeah.
I don't think YouTube was around in 2003.
YouTube wasn't around. YouTube wasn't
No,
around in 2006.
I don't think Netflix might not have been streaming.
No, Netflix. Well, yeah, okay. The streaming aspect wasn't around then for sure.
It was probably like
Um,
2006 or something for streaming.
I don't know. I think
So in
your
a way, this
theory is
movie
falling
may
apart.
have been like a VOD, but like it was specifically done for Netflix
I don't know, man.
or Scientologist. I don't know.
Yeah, Netflix didn't get streaming until I think 2007.
Seven.
I'm just gonna look it up.
No, even after that.
2000, 2008 or 9? 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah. It was there when it started.
How was Netflix founded in 1997? What were they doing?
They were like I assume, a movie store.
I mean, yeah, like Richard said, it was
They're just a mail order. They're a mail order movie store. I mean, that
Yeah, I mean,
has
I guess
existed for a long time.
with DVDs and stuff, when they started becoming more popular, it was easier to ship them. People wanting to get around.
When were DVDs becoming popular? Though? I mean, 97. That sounds like still VHS times.
I think that's we're showing our age here. We don't really know.
Yeah, because I was watching VHS tapes until like well into. Yeah, DVDs certainly weren't around in 1997.
DVDs? Yeah,
Or if
well,
they were,
2000, early 2000s.
Yeah. But either way, for the first few years, Netflix must have only been shipping like.
This film was filmed in Croatia.
I
Was it?
believe it.
How do you know that?
I looked it up. Internet. You guys are like guessing
But yeah,
these things.
these were like
Netflix maybe started in 2000.
abandoned, like just like military places.
It did have a weirdly like beyond the Iron Curtain.
Yeah, like Eastern Bloc, like
Yeah. Oh yeah, Zagreb. Huh.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just like a certain thing about this movie that just, no.
Daniel Goddard played Rage. And he's Australian.
Goddard.
And he was in Beast.
Really struggled with that name there.
Who's the guy that played the crossbow dude? He was in
The
What?
movie, not the movie, the show. Sorry, what were you saying?
the crossbow dude. He was in something else.
He was?
Yeah,
Archer is his name. Richard
yeah, Archer.
Richard Norton. He does look familiar. Fury Road. And X-Men Dark Phoenix, Mad Max Fury Road, Ghost in the Shell, The Suicide Squad. Oh, as stunts. Oh, okay. He does. Never mind.
Yeah, maybe this is just a movie of stunt actors.
Maybe. He does. He does appear as characters in something. Well, nothing. No, he mostly
No.
does stunts.
Just Dream Warrior.
Just Dreamweaver. He does technically have a character name in Mad Max Fury Road.
What is he?
The Prime Imperator.
Of course,
Whatever that means.
the movie's the king of character names.
Yeah.
I don't think this was made for Netflix.
No, I can't imagine it was because it didn't have.
I don't think it was made for Netflix, but I think it was inspired by Netflix.
I
doubt that.
That sounds
They're
even.
like, no, they're like,
that, doesn't
oh, there's
sound,
this,
that sounds less right.
no,
The
like, there's-
timeline doesn't make sense.
no, like Netflix was on the rise, and they're like, dude, it's a lot easier to get your movie out there and be seen, man. Like, there's a service you can just give them your film, they'll put it on DVD and send it to people.
Yeah, it was made fully acknowledging that they weren't even aiming for getting it in the theaters. They were saying
No,
there's gonna be ways to get this movie out there.
they didn't even want to advertise. They just wanted to be in the Netflix catalog.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I still doubt that, but I mean, I don't doubt something like that. I don't know about Netflix specifically because I don't know if it was really.
You should just get in contact with the dude. Be like, why'd you make this movie?
Yeah. We probably could get in contact with the guy. I mean, who is he?
Just
Weintraub.
just ask about Lance Henriksen. But you have Lance Henriksen and Twin Peaks girl, and apparently this famous guy that everyone knows about. So it's
Isaac
not just like
Hayes.
it's not just like random people like, "Ooh, we should make a movie." They're clearly people like in the know to some extent.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is, what has Audrey Horne been in other than Twin Peaks? Like, for all we know, she did not really have a career because this is years later, and
Still, you're in the biggest TV show of all time. You're not just
no, you'd think, but you never know. I mean,
know.
maybe there were a lot of problems. Like, all I'm saying is,
Can we get somebody from
Hollywood and you're not doing well, and somebody says, "Hey, I'm making a movie. We need a lead actress."
It's got Lance Henriksen, Isaac Hayes in it. You know, you'll be
Isaac Hayes,
surrounded by
who?
talent.
Yeah.
But you don't get. No, it had to have been somebody in some type of.
To Isaac Hayes, you're like, it's got Lance Henriksen, the girl from Twin Peaks.
Yeah. And then to Lance Henriksen, you're like, it's Isaac Hayes.
And they get there and they're like, "Oh, got you guys too."
Isn't Isaac Hayes? Isn't he the guy who wrote? Didn't he sing Shaft?
Yeah.
Shaft. That's him, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it is.
He's dead now.
Is he?
Yeah, he died on my birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what you did on your birthday?
Yeah.
In
Killed by the
2008.
waves.
Man, that was a long time ago. Did not realize.
But he died 2008.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I haven't heard of him. He hasn't been relevant for like.
You don't hear about anyone who doesn't exist after 2008. George Washington, who's that?
Liam was just conceptualized in 2008.
Yeah.
Just came into existence.
2009 is when I started actually paying attention.
It's when you awoke.
That's when he was, yeah. That's when he awoke.
But aren't you guys glad you watched this?
Yeah.
I mean, really, the only thing it really served to do honestly, I couldn't even pay attention to half of it. Like, the only thing that I walked away from with this movie was a desire to film another Equation 2.
See, that's another thing too. It inspires.
Yeah. I completely believe that you saw this in 2008 or whatever, because there are a lot of reasons for me to believe that some of Dream Warrior bled into Equation of Doom and subsequent Hazard Time films.
This movie is it shaped my imagination.
Clearly.
That's why my ideas just go. It just
All right, says a
they reach
lot.
a point.
I thought another thing on so the music in it is like from the same website that the Equation of Doom,
Yeah.
like weird non-copyright techno and stuff. But there's this one part in the movie where Rage is trying to rescue the baby and the mother, and he finds her, and there's no music playing at this point, and he's talking to her, and he's like, "All right, I'm going to get you out of here." And when he says, "I'm going to get you out of here," it cuts to an exterior shot of the door, and he's going to walk, and they walk out of the door and run away. But so he says, "I'm going to get you out of here." It cuts to the scene of the door, and then this music starts playing that's like really, like it's a really driving, just sort of a beat that's like, oh, things are going to start happening. Like this is like the typical action movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
And it only goes for about 2 seconds, literally about 2 seconds, and then fades into silence, and the shot hasn't even finished yet. So, like, the door opens, and it's like, good. And then they walk out into silence and run away, and it's like, what the heck was that? It was so odd. It was like the only tense part of that scene was them opening the door and then them running. It was complete like it was odd.
Tensest part with the music. The music was just there.
I don't know what they were thinking, if anything, but I've never seen a scene in a movie where the soundtrack starts and then stops like a few seconds later, only for the scene to continue. It was odd.
It still blows me away. There's 2 voiceovers, and neither of them go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, surprise! I actually made this movie.
I also like how Rage kept having flashbacks of like his
Oh my god!
killed or something, and
No, that's like half the running time in this movie was
it's
flashback.
just exactly.
Like,
God,
and literally,
ones.
it just happened like 5 minutes before Rage wakes up and he has a flashback of that just previous movie we've seen.
We'll say on the like editing of flashbacks we'd already seen and stuff. The opening of the movie, like post asteroid, but still during the voiceover, it's like a barrage of images that get played over each other and then replayed. So it's like the same shot of this guy getting tortured, intercut with like this guy's getting flatlined and then dragged off, but they show him getting dragged off like 4 times, intercut with other shots of somebody else. Like it was,
The editing is very minimal.
yeah, it felt like something we would do in.
Well, no, there's a part where Lance Anderson he hits his hammer and then it's like zoom.
I need a gif of him hitting his hammer.
They had like
I doubt that
all,
gif
they
exists.
did all sorts of weird edits, like rewind and just like play the same cut twice and stuff, just to like take up time. I think.
It's literally actually what was in Equation 2.
Yep. Hitting his hammer. I don't remember that. Why did he have a hammer?
I don't know.
It's
if
like
it
a
was
gavel, I guess. Gavel hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, he slams it and then it goes like back.
It's like that's literally.
We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, I may have been influenced by this movie more than I've realized.
Did you watch it more than once? Like, did you?
At least twice.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Well, no, at least like once and then like part. Because, like I said, there wasn't much on Netflix.
No. Yeah, it definitely had Hazard Time vibes.
Yeah. But in a way, I feel like even if we didn't see this movie,
It would still have Hazard Time vibes,
Yeah,
even if
that's
we weren't
still-
influenced by it.
that still has a time. Because
It's
you
a
guys
product
didn't
of-
see this movie.
I feel like the movie could have been like an hour shorter.
Yeah. It could have
Yeah.
been like a half an hour
It's
episode.
like, yeah.
Because honestly, like 5 minutes into this movie, I was like, okay, I get it. I get why Dimitri liked this. I get why he picked it. I don't need. Do I really need to see the whole thing?
I was contemplating turning it off as well. I was like, okay. I mean,
I understand.
I need to remember the plot. So,
You could have. I'm pretty sure when I watched it this time, I lapsed in memory and like missed 15 minutes of it.
yeah. That's the other thing too, is like you easily could just like blink and then keep watching and think you've missed 15 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Like at one moment there's a trial going on to like kill mutants or whatever, and the next moment they're talking about finding the river, and you're like, wait, what river?
Well, no, that's like it just gets like reiterated throughout the movie, and it really
Yeah.
does just kind of like meld together. Like it just has. It's like one long whole movie is just one long drone. Like,
Yeah, it's like they filmed the movie in sequence chronologically, and they got to like halfway through the movie, and they thought, you know what, we really didn't add like any sort of exposition whatsoever. So then they tried to make up for it by just exposition, the same stuff over and over again. Like, did you get it? Did you get it?
And then they took the original movie and then just kind of put it randomly in the other part.
Lance
Yeah.
Henriksen has been in so much stuff. Oh my goodness.
Because he's great.
What else has he been in other than Aliens?
I mean, we don't want to read the 50 things he's been in. Or...
No, but like things I might know or bigger things. I don't know.
Jeez. I don't know. I mean, you know, Millennium was like his TV show.
Okay.
Is he is in new stuff now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got, let me see. Hold on. Scroll down a lot. He had 3 movies coming out this year, 2 movies coming out this year. I mean, 2 movies coming out next year, and 4 to be announced movies.
Yeah, but are they things that like people will watch, or are they more
Are they,
warrior?
We watched this.
Yeah, good point.
yeah, like, what, 17 years later?
Yeah, true.
Tron Uprising.
Didn't that come out?
Is that the TV show?
Yeah.
I've seen that. Oh, was he Tron?
I don't think so. Tesla.
Oh, okay. That's
He
like
was in-
Mad Tron.
He's
in
got a
bunch
great voice.
He was.
He does have a good voice. I
He's
knew
in a
Voice
that voice
wastes
was
no
coming.
time. Like, everything like, it's exactly what he needs to say.
Yeah. I knew I heard him from somewhere. He's the villain in the Tron show.
He was also in the Inferior Legend of Korra.
Yes, as one of is it as Lieutenant?
Yes, Lieutenant.
He's the mustache guy.
Beloved character, Lieutenant.
Like
He has lines.
villains.
He's in video games too. He was in Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Oh, he played Shepard
Oh,
in
Obvi-
Modern Warfare 2. They're like the villain from Modern Warfare 2.
was he in Dune 3?
Lebs.
Dimitri's asking if he was in Doom 3.
Maybe.
Not,
I don't know.
Not Dune, but just Dune.
Doom.
What year was Doom 3?
I don't know, like 2004 maybe?
Why are you talking from inside a plastic bag?
2004? I don't know.
Is Doom 3 a movie or a game?
That's a game.
Probably not.
You know.
He was in Mass Effect 3.
As Admiral Hackett.
Yes.
I know that voice.
Ooh,
I
he's in
know
all
this
of it.
guy's voice.
He's been there the whole time, Richard, right here. Get on your shoulder.
Yeah, he's on my right shoulder and Rage is on my left.
He hasn't done a whole lot TV-wise besides Millennium. But, I mean, he's in like a shit ton of movies. Just does like, instead of doing TV shows, he just does like 5 movies every year.
Time to milk some Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
But then he's not like Nick Cage. Was it like Nick Cage?
No, because those are all movies that like get, as bad as they may be, those are all movies that get noticed. I feel like this guy's in movies that don't get noticed.
I think that's a good thing though, because like at least he's in good movies or like
Well,
decent
good movies, you haven't listed a single good movie he's in.
Like, if you're an actor and you're making a living, who do you need to impress?
We should just every time we meet up, we should just watch a different Lance Henriksen movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
He was in Scream 3.
I mean, nothing.
Wait, I want to look at this movie on Letterboxd.
He was in Super Mario Bros. He played the king cameo appearance.
Movie? That's solid.
Right, he was in Terminator too. That's
He's in
right.
Terminator.
Yes, Lance Henriksen is one of 2 actors who have been killed by a predator, a Terminator, and an alien
When was he killed by a predator?
in Alien vs Predator.
He was in
Oh,
that?
right. The first one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, who was he in Terminator?
he was. Was he a thug in the beginning, or was he a cop?
Terminator 1?
Yeah, The Terminator,
I don't remember.
Volkovich. I think he might have been a thug in the beginning. With
I love the first review. Well, okay, the first and only review on Letterboxd.
oh no, he was a cop. That's right.
The beginning of the review starts with, okay, first, insanely inaccurate cover.
I told you, everyone brings that up.
Because it is. Like,
It's clearly the cover for a different movie. Like, it's not this movie.
yeah. I mean, that's what I watched it for. Wasn't in it.
You know the other person who's been killed by a predator, a Terminator, and an alien? Any guesses, Dimitri?
What's his name? Michael Biehn?
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
R.I.P.
that's
Bill
what I was-
Paxton.
that's what I was
Sure.
thinking.
Sure.
When?
He was a thug in the beginning of Terminator. I believe he's killed in Aliens, right?
Yeah, Aliens, yeah.
And is he in Predator? I think he's in Predator 2.
Yeah,
Bill
Predator
Paxton.
2, he gets killed in the train or whatever or something like that.
Yeah. So those are the only two people been killed by a Predator, an alien, and a Terminator. Pretty impressive, actually.
God, we got to talk about Predator one of these days.
I've already talked about Predator. You missed your chance there.
Body mass alone. You already talked about it?
Yeah, I did. You missed your chance
With who?
by myself.
Why would you
Why
talk
would you
about
do
it?
that? Why would you do that?
I need something to talk about.
So you pick Predator, the one movie that we'd want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, like, what?
Hey,
You
we
did
could
that on purpose.
we could talk
You
about
did that on purpose.
we could talk about the disaster that was Predator 2.
I don't want to talk about Predator 2. I want to talk
Well, tough luck.
How many governors are in that movie?
2 at least.
At least 2.
You guys show no initiative to be in this with me, and then complain when I do a movie without you.
Hey, I've said that's not true. I've given you many options of things that I would talk about. You've never even responded.
I said you gotta, it was supposed to be you and Dimitri agreeing on something. That was
Yeah,
the
but
point
you
of
said
this.
I had to be in one with Dimitri. I could have just been in with you, on any of those. I could have been on with you with Predator.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Granted, I'd rather talk to Dimitri about Predator, but
Well, what haven't we talked about Predator though? I think we've done it.
I'm sure
We've
we'll get a
exhausted
We've
chance.
hit the bases.
I'm sure we'll get a chance for me to listen to you guys
I mean, we're talking about it
talk
now.
about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Conan the Barbarian. That's got to be next.
There's always something to
It's-
talk
it's-
about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm
Always
picking,
something.
I'm picking the next movie. So
Why?
because
Yeah.
it was,
I feel like that's lame because you pick it every day. You have to do one of these every single day, and you want to pick the next one that like other people are on it.
no, yes, because
That seems
What
really
it should
lame.
be, what your thing should be is every movie I've seen that you probably haven't.
that's
And
a
that's
little
why
wordy.
You get Dream Warrior, okay? You get
That's
stuff
how
that
you get
people
through.
actually.
We all have movies that we've seen that we think no one else has seen. I'm sure you have some.
But I'm picking the next movie because you guys were supposed to pick this movie. It's not Richard's fault. Well, I mean, it is Richard's fault that he quit and left the decision up to Dimitri. I
No,
guess
Dream
it's
Warrior was not a mistake. I mean,
I guess it's not Dimitri's fault that Richard quit.
I'm just questioning your methods. As
Well,
all.
The idea is you're making me. You guys made me watch Dream Warrior, so now I get to make you guys watch a movie.
I'm surprised. Well, I know Liam will watch it. I'm surprised Richard watched it.
I did.
You came through. You came through, Richard.
And the next movie is something that none of us have watched.
See, that's also weird because if the point of your whole series, as you title it, every movie I've ever seen, I'm going to do a review of all the movies I've ever seen. So for this next one, I'm going to pick a movie I haven't seen yet. I mean,
Well, he's seen it now. That's
Yeah.
logic.
At the point of talking about it, it has become a movie I've seen.
Well, what you
Well,
should do
yeah.
is every movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many different things you could use these 5 minutes that you make a video for.
Every 5 minutes, I'm just going to talk about a movie I haven't seen. I haven't seen this movie. I haven't seen it. Not much I can say about it.
Oh no, trust me. There's plenty you can say about movies you haven't seen. You do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of debating if I should tell you guys the movie that I'm picking.
We don't really care, I'm sure, so you're not keeping us in suspense.
Yeah.
There's no promises will even like it'll happen until months from now. So
Somehow,
You guys didn't enjoy this enough to do it again, I guess.